It usually starts with a single movement. You reach for your phone to check one notification, certain that you're the one making the decision. Then time slips. That one notification turns into 30 minutes or an hour of unconscious scrolling that you never planned and never consciously chose. This happens because the platforms on your screen operate as precisely tuned business machines. Their primary goal is to harvest your attention, making you the product being sold to advertisers. These systems are built with mechanical precision to interact with human psychology. Designers utilize specific behavioral triggers to ensure that your interaction with the device is repetitive and involuntary. If you felt that loss of time today, you are already observing the effects of that design on your own behavior. The device in your hand functions as an active mechanism, exerting a constant, quiet influence over how you spend your day. Social media represents the first layer of this influence. These platforms have replaced brief check-ins with endless viewing sessions, a shift that has drawn intense scrutiny from the highest levels of government. This loop is powered by dopamine, the chemical released for pleasure and reward. Unpredictable content trains your brain to keep scrolling. As you adapt to this constant stimulation, your attention span narrows, and the real world begins to feel slow and unrewarding by comparison. While social media targets your attention, artificial intelligence forms a second pillar, focusing on how you process information. Educational tools are now moving into classrooms at a rate that outpaces our understanding of their effects. AI provides instant answers and generates complete essays in seconds. It removes friction from learning, making the path effortless. However, the human brain requires cognitive friction to develop. We build the ability to solve complex problems through the specific act of struggling with them. When students outsource that struggle to a prompt, they stop exercising their own critical thinking. This transition shifts the student from a learner to an intellectual dependent. The third pillar involves the replacement of physical environments with virtual ones. These are massive corporate economies where millions of hours are spent in worlds controlled by lines of code. In these spaces, you have absolute control over your appearance and your social status. They offer a sense of certainty and customization that the physical world rarely provides. The risk is a behavioral inversion. The virtual world becomes your primary residence, while the physical world becomes the place you are trying to escape from. This leads to the deepest layer of the system, the quantification of your identity. On social media, your worth is translated into metrics. Likes, comments, and views serve as public scores for your popularity and acceptance. This creates a cycle of persistent anxiety. First you post, then you wait and obsessively check the numbers, letting self-esteem rise and fall based on a dashboard of notifications. These metrics are not objective measures of friendship. They are data points manipulated by platform architects to keep you engaged with the interface as long as possible. By tying your identity to these numbers, the system replaces authentic human connection with a stream of programmable data. All four of these pillars, attention, cognition, reality, and identity, operate simultaneously. They work together to shape how a generation thinks, feels, and interacts. Because this behavior is everywhere, it carries the weight of a social norm. But ubiquity does not mean these systems are harmless. The change happens invisibly. You lose the ability to sit in silence or focus on a single page of a book, one click at a time, until the device feels like a requirement for your daily existence. The era of digital entertainment has established a quiet architecture of behavioral control. You should ask yourself if you are an observer of this system, or if you are already an integrated part of it. To see how effectively your attention can be captured, watch this again.